I really think that the fat acceptance movement, all these fat activists, have a lot of people really brainwashed, confused, and misguided. So I'm here to set the record straight. Coming from an obese person that's been overweight all my life. Yeah, I'm ready to tell my story. Hi guys, so welcome to my channel if you are new, and welcome back if you've been around here. I am Kendra. This is Kendra Creates. This is my space for sharing with you my weight loss journey. Also, a little bit of information about health, wellness along the way. You'll have some commentary from me, and you'll also learn a little bit about me along the way. So if any of that stuff sounds interesting to you, then you can go ahead and like my channel. And today you're going to learn some stuff about me. I've already kind of talked about it in my previous videos, but I'm going to talk about it again. I'm going to set aside a whole entire video dedicated to this topic. It was actually sparked by another creator. Her name is Fat Girl on a Diet, and basically she talked about her journey to, once again, like trying to lose weight and trying to get healthy and things like that. And if you don't know, that's what I'm trying to do as well. Last year I lost about 25 pounds. This year so far I've lost, oh God, I lost count. Hold on, let me see. I've lost over 30 pounds. I'll just put it like that so far this year in 2022. So now I want to tell my story, and my story goes all the way back to my childhood. I'm not gonna like talk about all of that, but I've been overweight all my life. I can remember called fat when I was like 5 years old. Like, I was mercilessly teased all throughout grade school, had poor self-esteem, poor body image. And so I know a lot of the fat acceptance movement or whatever talks about loving yourself, and I appreciate that part of things. I wish that was around when I was coming up, because I hated my body. I hated myself. I didn't like myself. I thought I was ugly just because I was fat. And, being fat, being overweight, it just ruined my self-esteem. It made me feel like I was less than. And also the people around me made me feel like I was less than, because of the teasing, because of the name calling, Eventually, it changed, and I just kind of accepted it. And I accepted that I would always be this size, no matter how much I dieted, no matter how much I exercised. So I just got used to it, and it just was what it was. Like, I can remember being at 15 years old, a freshman in high school. I can remember like being about 200 pounds. So me actually getting under 200 pounds is going to be a major, major accomplishment. Like, I never thought that was possible, me being an adult. So once I got out of high school, I went directly to college. I went away to college, and because of my class schedule, I didn't have class until like 11 o'clock in the morning. So I slept in, and because I slept in, I didn't eat. And me not eating caused me to lose weight. I was really only eating once a day, because I would go to class, and I would have class, and it would end like maybe like 3 or 4 o'clock. I would kind of like do a little bit of studying, hang out for a little while, and then I would head on over to the cafeteria to get me something to eat. I would pretty much eat whatever I wanted in the cafeteria, and that would be kind of like my one meal of the day. A little bit later on, I'd, chill out, hang out, watch TV, study, and I go to the gym on campus. And that worked for me well, and I lost like 20 or 30 pounds. So that was pretty much my, I guess you could say, first kind of real, kind of not so real attempt at losing weight, although I've tried even when I was younger, because I can remember being like 9 years old asking my parents to get me Slim Fast. Yeah. That was me. So that was kind of like my first attempt, I guess you could say, on my own as an adult, but it's happened so many times throughout the years. So what I wanted to say was, my weight has been up and down, up and down, up and down. And so about the year 2015, 2016-ish, I began gaining a large amount of weight. I had previously been through a weight loss journey, and I went from about 350 down to about like maybe 215 or something like that. So I did kind of like amazing, right? And I just kind of pretty much maintained my weight of about 215. I may have went up to maybe like 220, 230, nothing like major. But then around the year 2015, 2016, I just gained a large amount of weight. And it was because I was depressed. And because I was depressed, I found comfort in food. I would eat and I didn't care about gaining weight. Like I didn't care. It was the furthest thing from my mind at the time. And because of my depression, I ate and it made me sad that I was gaining weight, so I ate more, and it was just a bad cycle. And no matter what anyone tells you, it's not a fun feeling when you've worked really, really hard to lose weight and then you gain it back, you know? And it wasn't because of the physical reasons, like my appearance wise, it was because of everything inside of me that was going on. And you know, when I was in my 20s and I was 200, I hovered between like 220, 230, 240, 250. I probably say the max was about 250 that I got up to. Like my weight wasn't a big factor in my life. I mean, I was overweight, yeah, sure, but it didn't really affect too much. And then around 2015, 2016, when I gained all of this weight, I was nearly 400 pounds. I was up to my max was 380 something. I want to say it was like 386, 383, something like that. That's when everything like went to hell, pretty much. I was in my 30s, my early 30s. Yeah, I was in my early 30s. And my body was just like, no ma'am, no ma'am. So I know that, you know, the fat acceptance movement or whatever, fact activists want you to say like, yeah, you know, it's fine if you're fat. Yeah, it's fine until it isn't. It was fine for me until it wasn't. And it was just like, honestly, my body was falling apart. And it was like, I knew it, but I was in denial about it. Because I was like, I've been big all my life. Like, why is my body betraying me? It was because I was too big. Like, my body was like, no ma'am, like you need to get up off some of this weight. And I was just ignoring it because I didn't care. My health wasn't a priority in my life at the time. I was just caught in my depression. I was just, the only thing I did was go to work, come home, get in the bed, pretty much, and eat. Oh yeah, I definitely did a lot of that. I definitely did a lot of that. And honestly, what pulled me out of that depression was seeing finally a therapist that I meshed well with. And I worked my way out of it. But I just want to tell the story about the problems that I had, because I feel like all you see is the rosy side of being overweight. Like, oh, I'm overweight. It's kind of like a character. Like, you know, one of those little naked angel babies, like the cherub babies, and they're just so cute with the little rosy cheeks, and you just see their little rose, and they're just, oh, you just want to pinch the cheeks. So I feel like all you see is like the positive side of it. Like, oh yeah, we have more representation. We see the plus size ladies on the magazines. You know, people feel like we were doomed and we wouldn't have a love life, but now we have guys and we can get hot guys. And you know, like, yeah, they're accommodating more for us. We have cute clothes in our size now. And you know, all of this great, good, positive type stuff. I love it. I'm here for it. But I also want to talk about the not so positive stuff, because I feel like it needs to be said. It really needs to be said from someone who has been overweight their entire lives. Someone that is still overweight. I'm still overweight, y'all. And technically I'm obese. I am 5'7". I just weighed myself today, right now, 218 pounds. That is obese. You know, I don't feel like I'm obese because I work out, I eat healthy, I'm energized, I can run around, I'm active and all of that stuff. But yeah, I'm obese. And I want to make sure that I'm doing what I need to do for myself to be around for my child and to be active with him, because I don't ever want him to feel like he has a mom that can't do stuff for him. You know, I can understand like if I was in a car accident or something and something bad happened to me or whatever, but no, this is my doing. If I ever get to the point where like I can't do stuff with him or for him, it's my fault. So let's just talk about it. Let's get on into it. So all the weight gain was caused by depression, and it was just an endless cycle of depression because I gained weight, so I was even more depressed. So let's talk about that. Not only was it depressing to be that size and to have the health problems that I had, but it was also depressing to look at myself. Like, I didn't like the way that I looked. Maybe some overweight, obese people like the way that they look. I didn't like the way that I looked. Yes, I was definitely used to being big. I had been big all my life, but I had never been that big. And yeah, it takes a toll on you mentally. So I want to talk about that because, overweight, obese people want to make it seem like, just because I'm obese, overweight, doesn't mean that I'm depressed. That's true. That is 100% true. But a lot of us are. So I want to just throw that out there that no, everyone is not depressed, but a lot of us are. A lot of us are because of trauma that we went through in our childhood, because of things that we're currently going through as an adult, and sometimes because of our weight. Yeah. Yeah. Another thing was I was in pain all the time. Pain, pain, pain. Now, I do have a diagnosed condition in my back, and there's no rhyme or reason as to why I have that. But I did have a lot of back pain, so I'm not going to include that there. But everything else on me freaking hurted. I mean, it hurt to get out of bed. It hurt to walk. It hurt to everything. I mean, like, everything hurted, and it was not a good feeling. And because I was always in pain, it was a pain to do anything. So it was a pain to just do normal stuff like clean up. And one thing that I really love to do is travel. It was a pain to travel. I can remember me being that big and I went to Miami with my dear friend and I enjoyed myself, but I was in pain and it did not feel good when I was walking because in my mind I was thinking, dang, like, am I holding her back? Like, is she walking slower because of me? Like, can I not keep up? And I'm just glad, like, we rode like jet skis or whatever, and that was fine or whatever. But I'm just glad we didn't do any other like activities because I would have been so embarrassed if I wouldn't have been able to keep up. And, they want you to believe that being overweight, obese doesn't hold you back, but it does. It does in some regards, in some aspects. Like, yeah, you can do whatever you set your mind to. You can go to school, you can get a good career, you can do all this great stuff. Yes, absolutely, go for it. Go for what you want. But being this size a lot of times holds you back from doing a lot of things, and not necessarily because you don't want to do them or whatever, or you don't have support or whatever, but just because of how the way things are set up. Like, I was so uncomfortable in an airplane seat. Like, oh my God, I was like out of breath with the belt squeezing me, even with even with an extender. Like, I can laugh about it now because I don't have those problems now. But when I was going through it, it was just like, damn, man, this is embarrassing. And it was just like always having the feeling that you're embarrassed about something so silly that a smaller size person wouldn't think twice about, like sitting down or sitting in a chair. Like, you like, dang, can I fit in this chair? Is this chair gonna hold me? Like, is it gonna cut into the sides of my leg? Like, am I gonna have to like change seating? Like, just stuff like that. And as I was losing weight throughout that last time, I went to Cancun and I went zip lining. And I was much smaller by this time. There's no way I would have been able to do all that stuff because we trekked through the jungle and all kind of stuff. We went on 4-wheelers. It was amazing. But I thought to myself, like, there's no way I could have been my size and done all this. Like, I would have been way too scared. I was halfway scared at my size, like zip lining, like, dang, am I gonna fall down and die in this jungle? Like, you know what I'm saying? There's no way I could have done all that stuff. There's no way. There's no way. There's absolutely no way that I could have kept up. I could have been active. I could have did all those walk-ins. Like, even sometimes smaller people that are like not in shape have difficulty doing certain physical activities. So yeah, it holds you back. It does. And we're not even gonna talk about my feet swelling. My feet would swell so big. And I had actual tendonitis in my foot because I went to a podiatrist about my feet because my feet were swelling and they were hurting all the time. And he was like, it's just basically chronic inflammation in your feet. And it was a rough cycle for me because it was just like every time I would try to walk, like exercise, because that's all I could do is walk. I couldn't do anything else. You try to get me on an elliptical, I'm out of breath. Like, I'm trying to do some kind of exercise video, I might pass out. Like, I'm not doing all that. So I would just walk. But because of the pain in my feet, it was so difficult for me. And it was so difficult. He was saying, okay, you have to rest. You have to rest. Well, I can't rest. I'm trying to lose weight, you know? And at the time, I wasn't very well versed on nutrition as I am now. So I really should have been more concerned about what I was eating versus the exercise. But yeah. So I'm saving the best for last, or shall I say the worst for last, because these two things were the worst things that I suffer from, which was sleep apnea and high blood pressure. I had bouts of high blood pressure before when I was around 350, and once I lost weight, it went away. So I knew pretty much that once I lose weight, it was gonna go away. It was controlled with the medication, but it just made me feel so bad because I knew that if I lost weight, this problem would go away. And it would just, like, I felt I was too young to be going through all of this. Like, I was way too young having to suffer from these things. And the suffering was caused by me. Like, I was the reason my body was failing me because of my poor eating habits. No physical activity. But I will say, and I will always say, that mental health is health. You have to take care of your mental health. You have to be in a good headspace. So when Fat Acceptance says you should love yourself, you should definitely love yourself, whether you're a size 8 or 18 or whatever, because it starts with you. It starts with you being in a good mindset, in a good mind frame. I don't recommend trying to lose weight without you being in a good mindset or a good mind frame, because it's going to be a cycle. You're going to get down, you're going to get depressed, you're going to eat, you're going to run the food, you're going to not want to exercise, you're not going to want to engage in physical activity, and it's going to be a cycle. And then you're going to get sad and blame yourself, oh, I can't do it. You have to get that mindset in check, because if your mindset is not on point, now, of course, we all have our ups and downs. Yes, of course. But if you don't have it within you that you're committed to this and this is what it's going to be and you're going to do this, then you're setting yourself up for failure. Okay? I just want to say that. But yeah, the high blood pressure thing. Like, and this is serious stuff. We always hear about people having high blood pressure, but high blood pressure can kill you. It can kill you. That's why we have medicine for it. You know, I mean, it's just not like, high blood pressure, what is that? Whatever. Because we have medicine and it's well controlled now, it's less of a problem. But before those inventions, yeah. And sleep apnea, it was really scary for me because I was waking up every day with a headache. I was tired. I was lethargic. I feel like I could never get enough sleep, you know, and I didn't know what was wrong with me. And, you know, I talked to my parents and my dad was like, you probably should get a sleep study done. And I was like, oh, what? That was the furthest thing from my mind. It was the furthest thing from my mind. You know, I had heard about it and I knew that obesity was a main factor in having it. But when I did do the sleep study, yeah, I had sleep apnea. And this is another thing that people are just like, oh, you just wear your CPAP machine and, you know, you're good. Sleep apnea can kill you. Like, think about if I would not have gotten diagnosed and I could have literally been 30 years old and died in my sleep. At the time, I didn't have children. At the time, I was not married. I would have never had my baby. And you know that, that strikes a nerve with me. Because my baby is something that I always wanted for me and myself in my life. And I could have taken away my own legacy because of my poor eating habits. This is the stuff that no one wants to talk about, you know. And no, I am not down with the fat shaming. I am not down with the name calling. I am not down with the body shaming. I am not down with the food policing, body policing. I'm not down with none of that. So me saying this does not give anyone the right to tell someone what they should or shouldn't do with their bodies, what they should or should not eat, or any of that. I am telling my story from my point of view, and let it be a warning to those who are probably younger, because I never had issues until I was in my 30s. I never had issues until I was over 300 pounds. I never had issues. Some people might weigh less. Some people might be younger and have issues. So this is my warning to you. It might be all good now, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it will always be all good. So I just wanted to tell my story, and I wanted to get that out there because I have been encouraged to do so by seeing someone else tell their story too. And I'm just happy that I'm on a track to a healthier lifestyle before things got any worse, because things could have gotten so much worse for me. I know y'all watch 600 Pound Life. I know y'all do. I know you do. And shoot, I was knocking on it. I was approaching it. So this is just something for you guys to just ponder on. So after that heavy message, I want to leave you guys with a positive word. Every day the clock resets. Your wins don't matter. Your failures don't matter. Don't stress on what was. Fight for what could be. That one's by Sean Higgins. So I love this message. Every day you have a chance to live the life that you want to live. So yesterday, leave yesterday in the past. Today is today. You have a chance to make a change. So if you're wanting to make a change, like if you're wanting to do a weight loss journey or whatever it is that you want to do, don't worry about what happened yesterday. Don't worry about what happened last week, last month, last year. Today is a new day. Today you have the ability to start from scratch and work on those goals that you want to achieve. Okay, y'all? So I know that topic was heavy, and I just want to make sure that everyone knows like where I'm coming from, why I do this stuff, why I give these positive words, because I want people to benefit from this. Like I want to help somebody, one person. I just want to give back because I could only wish that I had, support from random people on the internet. So if you like that positive word, go ahead and like this video. And of course, make sure you subscribe to my channel so you can see future positive words. And as I always say, make sure that you spread kindness in a world full of hate. I will see you guys on next time. Thank you so much.